Hello friends, today's topic is toxic parent rules. Let's rant.
If you grew up in an abusive household, you may be used to arbitrary rules, and you may be looking for that now in your adult life. So ostensibly it's you said something and so you can't go to the dance. But what it actually was I'm in a bad mood and so you can't go to the dance. Right? And there's a certain chaos to that because it doesn't make sense. And the only sense you can make of it as a little kid is there must be something wrong with me. I'm being punished for a reason. Please don't do that with life events today. You're not being punished if something bad happens to you.
Okay, for one, I'm just going to start by saying, in my experience, anybody who feels the need to state something as obvious as discipline and abuse aren't the same thing clearly don't have any idea of what the difference between discipline and abuse are. Let me also say, a fully grown adult who was abused as a child and never went through the proper therapy or just took the proper time out to heal from that or think about that won't have a clear understanding of the difference between discipline and abuse, being that they probably still believe that the abuse they endured was discipline. Okay, now to answer your question. Abusive rules would be any rule that hinders a child's growth and development into a healthy, mature, and functioning adult. So, starting with the rule that all of you are going to hate, but the no talking back rule. Robbing your child of their First Amendment right off the bat, telling them they're not a human with equal rights like you. This rule only benefits the adult. Allows them to have their adult tantrums all over their children with no repercussions. Allows them to get all their anger out on their child with no repercussions. Shame, yell at, beat, all of that with no repercussions. And it enforces the I'm right and you're wrong no matter what rule, which is sickening. I don't think I should have to even explain why you're wrong and I'm right always is an abusive rule. I don't know if every parent has this rule. I'm sure they don't, but I know my mom had a rule where I wasn't allowed to go out and visit friends ever. And there are many other kids who aren't allowed to go visit friends. I have a very close friend who is going through that right now. And that is terrible. No child should be condemned to their home forever and ever and ever, not being allowed to socialize with other children. Obviously, the unspoken rule, but obviously very spoken rule, that if you mess up even one time, I have the right to put my hands on you. And you cannot hit me back. That is also a rule. Really, any rule that you set in the house prohibiting your child from doing something that you do is an abusive rule. Your child cannot grow and develop as a healthy human adult in a household under the rules of do as I say, not as I do. Your child will almost 100% grow up to do exactly what you did and not anything that you said. Whether it is intentional or not, you are subconsciously training your child to be exactly what you don't want them to be and then penalizing them for being just that. It's abusive. Cut it out. Like I said in the beginning, any rule that prohibits your child from growing into a healthy adult with a functioning brain, able to handle their emotions like a functioning adult, is abusive.
These are some strict rules that I have for my daughter with little to no explanation. My daughter is only allowed to go outside 3 times a day. My daughter is not allowed to talk, but she loves to break this rule so she gets grounded a lot. My daughter only eats once, maybe twice a day, depending on her food portion, because if not, her guts, they're not the best. My daughter doesn't have a room, so she sleeps in my room with me. But I don't feel comfortable with her being in my bed, so she sleeps on the floor. My daughter is not allowed to be in or near my kitchen. But yeah, these are some rules. Let me know if you want more. The daughter in question, you may ask.
These are all the insane rules that my strict Asian parents had for me growing up, and why I will never in a million years ever have these for my kids. By the way, I grew up in an extremely toxic household, so by no means is any of this normal or okay. The one thing that I will thank my parents for is teaching me exactly how not to raise my kids. Not only did they turn me into the sneakiest motherfucker ever, literally get away with murder anyway, but there was so many deep-rooted self-worth issues that took years of therapy to reverse. So number one, I had to go to school no matter what, no matter if I was throwing up sick or what, no matter if a family member just died. School was just non-negotiable. You don't know how many times I have gotten on the bus with bloody noses, like about to throw up. My bus driver is literally like, who sent their kid like this? Obviously, if I'm being sent to school with a fucking fever, then that's also a danger to other kids and just fucking wrong. I remember laughing at the concept of a mental health day because I didn't even get like a fucking physical health day. One thing about me is I was raised with complete fear. I was just so scared of getting like screamed at or like, you get what I mean? I was never allowed to have friends over the house ever under any circumstance. Like if I even asked, I would probably get screamed at for like 40 minutes. At a certain point, I just stopped asking. On the flip side of that, it was also really hard for me to get rides anywhere. My parents did not want to drive me to anyone's house ever. They were too busy doing their own thing pretty much. So I feel like I grew up pretty lonely. Now that caused me when I got older to sneak a lot of people into the house. Not even just boys or anything like that. Like even just my girlfriends, I would just sneak into the house and not tell them because I was so scared of getting screamed at. And I feel like that still affects how I like communicate now. I tend to over-explain the living shit out of myself. Like if I'm 5 minutes late to something, I will literally be telling my friend like, oh my god, I'm so sorry that I'm 5 minutes late. This happened, and this went wrong, and I'm just so sorry, and like blah, blah, blah. And they're like, girl, it's literally not that big of a deal. One thing my parents made extremely clear to us that they were not my friends. After my very first breakup, like I was heartbroken. I was, I think, a sophomore in high school. I tried to go to my mom and like cry to her, and I literally got screamed at with tears rolling down my eyes about how stupid and dumb I am for crying over a boy and to leave her the fuck alone because she's busy. I remembered watching all the Disney Channel shows and movies about how when like Alex Russo went to her mom about a breakup or something, her mom was so nice and understanding and she was like, it's okay, mija. I really thought that it was gonna be like that and then just got extremely disappointed. I was like, how did I go from my mom for advice about a breakup and leave feeling worse about myself? Literally so pathetic, but like the trauma adds spice, so it's fine. But I've just never had that relationship with my mom where I could like tell her everything and like confide in her and be all cute and hang out with her. I've always been so damn jealous of people that are best friends with their moms, and I honestly tend to get close to like my boyfriend's mom and my friends' moms because I don't have that. So when I was younger, Instagram was like the big thing, right? There was no TikTok, there was no Musical.ly. It was literally just Instagram and Snapchat. My dad blocked Instagram on the router. Gosh, my nose contour looks like a fucking, I don't even know. As y'all know, I wasn't allowed to have people over. And most of the time, I couldn't get rides anywhere. So I spent a lot of time alone. So Instagram was like the one thing that I could use to communicate with my friends. So at 13 years old, I researched and found out how to install a VPN on my phone and got Instagram back. This is one I've seen a lot on TikTok about, and I didn't really know was universal experience, but gifts would cancel out bad treatment. Essentially, my parents could say and do the worst possible things to us, completely traumatize us, but it was canceled out if they took us on a nice vacation or bought us something we wanted. Me and my dad are really close now, and he has like deeply and sincerely apologized for everything he put me through as a little kid. Basically just explained he wasn't ready to have kids and like give up his life and whatever. But my mother, on the other hand, if any three of us kids talks about our traumatizing childhood, the effect it had on us, she will still be like, shut up, you had an amazing childhood, you went on vacations and we bought you stuff. Did she not realize that she scarred all of us for like life and we all had to go in like months of therapy to like be somewhat normal functioning member of society? So like I said, social media was like blocked for the most part except for YouTube. And since I was alone so much, I really did get my childhood through watching Bertaley. So shout out Jules LeBlanc, I love you, you saved my life. It's just so funny how something that I wasn't supposed to be allowed to have is now my full-time job. Like I fully believe that them taking away social media and like restricting me so much as a kid led to me pursuing social media as a full-time job. I never really even wanted to have kids, but part of me really wants to do just so I can raise them with like the most utter love and care and give them every single thing that I didn't get growing up. Like, I want to be the house that all the kids come over to. There's little slumber parties, and there's hangout sessions at my house, and I'm the cool mom. And I want to have that mother-daughter relationship where my daughter can tell me literally everything, and she's like my best friend. And lastly, if you're in a toxic household right now, just please keep holding on. Promise it will be over. You will get out of it. And I'm sorry, you have a damn good personality because trauma really does build character. You're probably so funny. You're probably so sweet. I love you so much. And I am a real-life example in front of you guys that you can get out of it. Oh my gosh, that was like so deep. I love you, Hobnoggers, and I'll see you next video. Ew, was that too deep? Oh.
For those parents out there who say under my roof, my rules, but then don't give their kid any sort of respect, privacy, decency, just keep that same energy when you're old, okay? When you need someone to take care of you, and you no longer live under your own roof, keep that same fucking energy. Remember that you don't deserve respect or decency or even privacy. And don't forget to be thankful for what you do get.
Did you have crazy rules you had to follow growing up? Comment down below and thank you for watching until next time.